Hello, so this next book challenge video is just a book you borrowed from the library. Now, all the books I've read recently have been borrowed from the library. And I don't know exactly how I found this one, but I think I just found a book I liked and then just went on to read more or similar books or something like that. And somehow I stumbled upon this one, and I have to say I just loved the cover. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I just did. So I clicked into it, I read the description, and I was like, yep, I'm reading this book. So I'll read you the blurb first, because I keep forgetting to do that, and then I'll talk about it. In the wake of tragedy, two sisters have to piece their family back together again. Grace never thought she'd have to return home to Floral Street. Having spent most of her life building a successful career in London, she's done everything she possibly can to avoid the flower stall that's been in her family for generations. But when tragedy hits, she's got no choice. It's time to face the demons of the past and support her family. Faith has returned home after years travelling the world. The baby of the family, she always struggled to find her place. She thought that her life would be different after a trip across the globe. But as she settles back into life in her childhood room, she has come to terms with the fact that her life isn't quite what she expected, and she has no way of getting out of the rut she finds herself in. Faith and Grace have never seen eye to eye, always clashing, never forgiving, but they might just find a way to understand one another, to fight their way through their grief and come out stronger. By opening up, they'll discover they aren't so different after all, and family will always be there for you. So this book was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I read it as an ebook, and obviously the opening line of the blurb is in the wake of tragedy. So that's sort of where I expected the book to start. It didn't. The tragedy doesn't happen immediately. I don't want to spoil anything, but it took a while for the blurb to make sense. Once again, even though it's quite an emotional story, I did find it lighthearted and a very easy read. And maybe also because I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to read these books, I'm kind of like, oh, I'll read. But I did just feel that oh, I want to keep reading. And again, that's not because the story was particularly gripping. That's not nice to say. I don't know what the right word is. It's just not very cliffhangery. I'm sure there's an actual word for that, but I could be wrong, but I think the author, Jane Lacey Crane, either has sisters or is a sister or something like that, because she got the accuracy of sisters. That relationship and the thoughts were all very accurate. And it didn't feel, because sometimes you can tell when an author is writing for siblings when they've been an only child, simply because the way they write is just not accurate. But I could really see myself in some of the characters, and I could see my sister in some of the characters, and I could see my brother in some of the characters as well. So it felt real, which is nice. And actually a lot of the book felt real, and I really appreciate that. The story was beautiful and very moving, and I do really recommend it. I think it was a very good book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very much a specific style though, so if you're looking for something a bit heavier, this might not be it, but if you want an easy read that's still got emotional aspects, I'd go for this. Anyway, that's all from me, and I'll see you shortly. Bye!